what would be a good approach to effectively leading a team where instead of taking ownership of their responsibilities and working towards team goals, each team member is just trying to be the boss?
Okay, so a couple things here. You want to let them be the boss of their tasks, right? That's what you're trying to do. So that makes sense. And one of the ways, if they want to be the boss of everything, maybe you give them a little bit more, as much decision-making process as you can as to what task or what projects they're in charge of. So that makes them feel a little bit like they're empowered. And I shouldn't say makes them feel like they're empowered. You actually are empowered.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? So there's a pretty significant distinction, because once again, people will recognize if you're just letting them do it to make them feel good about it, they're going to know that. Yeah, okay, Jocko, thanks for the decision. You gave me a choice of one thing. Thank you. Yeah.
The color of pens.
Yeah. So maybe let them really express their authority and leadership on owning what it is that they're owning. So, but the question says they're not taking ownership of their responsibilities. So let's make sure first that we're not that we're giving them full reign and full ownership of their responsibilities, and we're not micromanaging in there. Now, if we're beyond that and we got people that just want to be in charge of the whole thing, well, cool. That's actually awesome. You want to be in charge of everything? If Echo is in our team and he wants to be in charge of everything, hey guys, check it out. Right now, this next project that we're working, Echo's going to run it. I'm going to sit back. And by the way, next project, Bill, you're running. And next project, Fred, you're running. Now we're all going to get to actually get in the hot seat. And I'll tell you what you're going to see. Number one, you're going to see some people that go, they wanted to sit in the back and chirp, but they don't actually want to be responsible for anything. So that puts them to rest right away. Yeah. You're also, what's going to happen with everybody is they're all going to see that this thing that looks so easy from the back of the room is a lot harder than they think. That's what it's like running a SEAL mission. The guy in the back that's never been in charge before is like, oh, we should just do it like this. Yeah. And that guy, you say, okay, here, you run this. And then, in 6 hours, they come up and say, hey, can you give me a hand with how we're supposed to contact and deconflict with these other units? Oh, okay, it's a little trickier than you thought. Maybe, isn't it? Yeah. But you actually put people in charge of things. If they want to be in charge of things, put them in charge of things. It's great. And, don't let them fall on their face. Don't let them get anyone killed. Don't let them, get anyone injured or lose any strategic ground. We're not going to do that. But we're going to let them have the opportunity to step up and lead. If they do a good job, sweet. Yeah. Sweet. Now you've got them. You can rely on them. You can actually put them in charge of projects. Now you don't have to micromanage them. You don't have to watch over them. Mm-hmm. This is a no-lose situation. This happened actually. One of my platoon was going through training, and one of the platoon commanders came up to me, and we were just putting the platoon through training, and he comes up and he's, oh, my platoon chief wants to run everything. And I said, good. Let him run everything. Yeah. Let him run everything. That's perfect. Then you can focus on, other things. Don't worry about it. But ego, right? We want to be running everything. We want I'm the guy in charge. Yeah. No, let him run it. And it's just, it's the reason, the thing that holds people back from letting other people run things is insecurity. If I think Echo's going to do a better job than me, or I think you're going to do a really good job and you're going to shine, and I don't feel like I do a good job, I'm going to hold you back as the best of my ability. I'm going to be like, no, Echo, you go ahead and just stay in your lane there, buddy. I got this over here. No. But if I know if I'm secure in my leadership, man, Echo, oh, you want to run this? Dude, awesome. Here you go. Here's the plan. Why don't you, here's the portfolio. Why don't you put the plan together? I'm going to be over here looking down the road on our next project, looking for our next thing down the road, going out and getting another client to bring into the game. We're going to make this happen. No factor.
Yeah, it seems like
counterintuitive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You want me to say, here's how you keep the people in their lanes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what you do. Let them out of their lanes. Yeah. Let them into your lane. Let them run some stuff. Yep. Build a new leader. It's a beautiful thing.
When when you're insecure, you don't want them to outshine you. You can tell that where I think it's natural though. When people maybe a little insecure, or if you're not as good as maybe you hope, or what, I think it's natural to be a little bit insecure.
Of course.
Here's how. In my experience anyway, where I could tell where I'm being insecure, where if someone's performing a certain thing and you're kind of like, you can feel it consciously. You kind of hope that they don't do that good.
Oh,
but man, I know, bro, it's bad. It's bad. But that's how you can tell.
Yeah, that's a good indicator. You can tell. You know, if you have that feeling, you should definitely. If you have that feeling, check yourself.
Yeah.
Go, God, you know what? Here I am, hoping that my own team member doesn't do a good job.
Yeah, that's
a bad situation.
Real bad.
You want to hope everyone's doing great.
Yeah.
And you know, this happened on deployment, and I talk about it in the book, Extreme Ownership. Was, you know, the Delta platoon commander, he was worried that this element that had come into work in his AO, he was worried that they were going to be better than him and take his job. And he told me that. And I said, hey, bro, if they take your job, good. I'll find a new job for you. There's so much work. We got work to do. Don't worry about it. Help them. Help them take your job. And I'll find you a new job. It turns out that their egos were too big and they couldn't let that happen. But that's the same situation. You got somebody that thinks going to take your job and do better than you. Help them and then find new work. Because we're trying to help the team, right? There's a mission. There's an overall mission. And if Echo can do something better than me, hey, here's the turnover. Here's the lessons I learned. You're better at this than I am. You keep running with it. I'm going to go find something that I'm good at or an area that I can help. That's just supporting the whole team.
That's a win right there.
Yeah. So, and you know what? Sitting in the podcast studio, it's so easy to talk about that and see it, but it's so hard for people to do that. It really is. Really is.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're dealing with your actual feelings in the situation. We're not dealing with our actual feelings in the situation right now. But it doesn't that mean that that's good? You know, you're giving a fresh view. You know, you are detached.
I am detached
right now. So you can give
right
accurate advice.
And the more detached, and you pointed out some red flags, right? If I'm hoping that these guys go on the mission and fail, that's a red flag that you're being selfish and insecure about your job and what you're doing. And if someone can do a job better than you, let them do it. Yeah. That's going to help the whole team.
Yeah, so it's like you're us in the podcast room. We're like, you know, if you get a guy in the maze of emotions, and we're outside of the maze on top, we can see the whole maze.
Yes.
We're not in the maze of emotions. We're on top. We can look at the whole scenario, the whole maze. So we can tell that guy what to do effectively.
Yes.
You know?
Echo, you just described detachment.
There you go.
That's what detachment is like. That's what it's like for me.
Yeah.
I can see the maze. And I remember learning how to step back and step above and look at the maze. I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember learning that and going, oh, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And then I remember taking it from the training ground, the battlefield, and then realizing that that's what you need to do in the everyday interactions with people. And especially once I got in the business world, then the thing that was cool about when we started Echelon Front, now I would be witnessing, I'd go into a meeting and I would be detached. I would be up above the maze of emotions and turmoil. And so now I would get to see it. And then I would start bringing the leadership and saying, look at what this looks like to me. Yeah. And they'd go, ooh.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Going to the videotape.
Yeah, going to the video. And so then that's how you learn. We go to the video, look what it looks like from up above the maze. And now you see what you were doing here in your meeting? You had everybody so intimidated that no one said anything. You just gave a 15-minute meeting. No one responded in any way to anything you said. Do you think everyone in that room agreed with everything you said? Not a chance. They didn't say a word. Why is that? You intimidated them, you bullied them, and now you're not getting any feedback, and they're going to execute the plan that they don't believe in. And that's probably less effective than the one that they have coming from the field.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations. No, not congratulations. Let's get this
fixed.
The
opposite of congratulations. So I was in traffic, and something to think about. I was in traffic, and you know how you have the two lanes, right? So I'm going to turn left on the light.
Yep.
Then the lane next to me, they're going straight. So whoever, the person in front of the person that was next to me, both going straight, they were taking too long. So the lady next to me, she's honking the horn, all going like this, all crazy. So of course I look over at her, and she's going crazy. She looks over at me, she's like, do you believe this kind of thing? All going nuts. Meanwhile, I'm looking at myself, other people around me, they're just like, well, this lady's going nuts, So that's an example of being on the outside looking in. Her, she thought it was justifiable, honking the horn, looking nuts. But meanwhile, we're on the outside looking at her like, bro, you know how you look?
And you know what that situation is? You didn't have anywhere to be. She did.
Well, I was at a red light. She was,
You know what I'm saying, though? She's a person that hadn't left for work late. And she was gonna be in trouble, and blah blah blah. And that 30 that 10 second, that 8 seconds.
Yeah, it was probably like 3.
Was an eternity for her.
Yeah,
she's just going nuts. Just like I was talking about in the airport. If I'm running late for the flight, TSA takes 5 minutes. It could be no factor, or it could drive me completely insane.
Yep, and that was her.
And you know what? These days, when I screw something up, I don't get frustrated like that. That's what we're talking about the first question. I'm like, oh my God. I look at myself and go, I can't believe I left late to do this. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I won't let that happen again. I said that in 1996 and I haven't had to let it happen since.
Boom. Dang, bro. See what I mean? No, I was outside the maze of emotion. Here's the thing. I know how she's feeling. Mm-hmm. Oh, these guys not going. Go. Green light. Go. It's time to go.
Universal.
Yeah. So I understand the feeling, but look how you look from the outside, Did
she check herself at all?
No.
When she saw you?
No. She looked to me for some emotional support.
Yeah.
As if you believe this guy, get crazy with me kind of thing. That was the look. But yeah, man. So I dig it. I think that's another understand the difference between feeling and behavior as well. Like I know that's a frustrating thing. It can be. But don't behave like that. Calm down.